Hi friend, welcome to my March 2025 bullet journal setup. First steps, obviously making some chai tea. So this month is a little bit late, I'll be honest, but I think it's okay. It's still halfway through the month. I think that's good enough. So my theme for this month was kind of based on the book that I'm reading right now, kind of the cover I have. I'm currently reading Mansfield Park, and I just kind of loved these colors. And I've been in a big reading phase right now, so I thought, why not kind of embrace that and use it for my theme this month? So that is what I'm doing, just setting up those colors there. That kind of like pastel, very girly, I guess, color palette is what we're going for. Last month I did do a little scrapbook flip through of my past month. So what I've been trying to do is scrapbook each month rather than doing like a big scrapbooking at the end, and I just kind of found I liked having it in my bullet journal. I usually have a separate journal, but it's kind of nice to have kind of with me on the go, and I can look back and reminisce in the moments, which is, yeah, really fun. So my theme this month is kind of based on reading in general, as well as like that specific, very dainty, literary vibe, I guess. I just did a very simple book title, and then I've seen a few things on Pinterest of like this kind of plaid outlining, and so I kind of did that in those colors, just truly winging it, kind of placing them wherever I felt like I wanted them, and not really much thought. I wanted to kind of make those overlap parts a little bit darker. I'm not sure if I liked it as much as I thought I would. It's not bad, but it kind of felt a little bit unnecessary, so I didn't end up doing that later on in the bullet journal. I just did the like natural overlapping colors, I guess. So yeah, just adding a few of those colors here. I really like this color palette. It felt very Little Women, Jane Austen, that kind of literature vibe, if that makes sense. So yeah, just freehanding it here and adding these little pops of color. It's funny, I wouldn't say that I'm very much of a girly girl, especially in terms of like colors. I don't really wear a lot of pinks and purples and such, but I do love, you know, that there's, I think it's an audio clip from Anne of Green Gables that's like, oh, how I love being a woman. And that's kind of how I feel like this theme feels to me. So now as we flip over to the monthly spread, which is the most important part of my bullet journal, really helps me keep organized. Just using those colors again. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to add the same colors, add the plaid again, and then just kind of lean into just my favorite books. I'm not necessarily focused on like reading a lot of books. I mean, right now, it's kind of funny. I normally only read a book at a time, apart from the Bible, which I constantly am reading, but usually I just have one book going. And right now I think I have about 3, but 2 of them are nonfiction books. So I think because of that, I think I can usually only have 1 fiction book going because it's hard for me to like switch characters and worlds and plot lines. I just like being in one. So right now, my fiction book is Mansfield Park, which I'm really enjoying. It's definitely like one of the slower Jane Austen books, but it feels very spring, just very cozy, comforting kind of thing. And Fanny, if you've read Mansfield Park, Fanny as a heroine is kind of an interesting Austen heroine. She's very different. She's very soft, and I don't know. At first I didn't know if I liked her. I had seen a few movies before I read the book, but I've kind of started to love just how almost Cinderella-like she is, in the fact that like she doesn't expect much, and she's okay with that, and she's not very outspoken, and she's very opposite of Lizzie Bennet, who I also love, but I've kind of fallen in love with Fanny for different reasons. Yeah, so I've really been enjoying Mansfield Park. It feels like a very different Austen novel, I guess. And then the other 2 books I'm reading are A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23, which is just looking at one of the famous psalms from the Bible. I'm doing that with my life group. And I've been reading that one for a while. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook of Psycho-Cybernetics, which is a little bit more like learning about the brain and using that towards goals and such, which is very different and fun, and I've been very much enjoying it. So yeah, so I'm reading a lot of books, so it just felt like a bookish month. restarted at my book club with some friends of mine last month, so I do have to read that book as well. I haven't started it, but hopefully that will also be added into this month. And then I thought it'd be kind of fun to just, put out all of these books and then just write a few of my favorites, a few of the ones that I have just loved reading over the years. I'll be honest, it took a while to come up with all of them. Right now my bookshelf is not out, it is in boxes, and so I don't have a visual of like most of the books that I have and have read. So just kind of going off memory, and then I looked at Fable, which is where I kind of log most of my reads. So yeah, I'm just writing out a bunch of my favorite books, beloved books, whether I read them recently or read them as a child. And now as we flip over to my habit tracker, just very simple, very similar layout to last month, but instead I didn't center it. I just kind of moved over to the side so I could write habits here. And this just fun font that I just freehanded when I was planning. And then again, just adding a few books. I thought I saw a little design like this on Pinterest somewhere of just like a simple bookshelf. And so for this one, I didn't fill them out because first off, overwhelming, and it's very small. But I just kind of doodled in a few books and added those colors, and I like how it turned out. And then I'm also flipping back here because I'm using the same habits from last month. So just flipping back to the last one, making sure I get all of them in. And then my last page of this month is my goal setting kind of overview more. I don't use this one as much during the month. It's more of kind of like a review to see what I was able to get done. So yeah, same as last month. If you happen to see that video, I kind of went into a bit more of what the goals are and how I use it, but pretty straightforward. I'll use it more at the end of the month as I review and see what I accomplished. And with that, here is the final flip through. Very soft and girly and bookish, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was a pretty simple spread, but I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here, friend. I hope you enjoyed this March setup, and I will see you next time.